When a lonely farmer orders one mail-order bride, he never expects identical twins to step off the stage. One his intended bride, the other a fugitive from a murder charge. Now they must play an impossible game of switching places while both fall in love with the same good man. This is a story where identity becomes fluid. Love doubles its complications, and two sisters must share one life to survive. Hit that like button and subscribe to discover which sister he'll choose, or if he'll have to choose at all. Lonely Farmer orders one bride but gets identical twins who keep switching places. T. Hyde. Jacob Muller stood at the edge of his wheat fields, golden stalks stretching to the horizon under the Kansas sun, and wondered if prosperity without someone to share it with was just another form of poverty. At 35, he'd built one of the most successful farms in Marshall County, 600 acres of prime land, a solid two-story house, modern equipment. Everything except someone to make it a home. The advertisement had been simple, written after too much whiskey and too much solitude. Established at farmer seeks wife. German speaker preferred, but not required. Must be kind, hardworking, willing to help with farm. Looks unimportant character, everything. He'd received several responses, but one stood out. Anna Bergman, 26 from Milwaukee. Her letter was warm, practical, funny, in unexpected ways. She wrote of growing up on a dairy farm, of understanding the rhythm of agricultural life, of seeking not romance, but partnership with someone who valued work and quietude. Her photograph showed a pretty woman with dark hair braided in the German-style serious eyes and a small smile that suggested hidden humor. She looked like someone who could make a house, a home, make silence companionable rather than oppressive. Now Jacob waited at the train depot in Marysville, his best shirt clean but worn, his hands calloused from yesterday's plowing, despite his best efforts to soften them with oil. The other men waiting for the train gave him knowing looks. Everyone in the county knew Jacob Muller had ordered a bride. "Nervous Muller?" asked Tom Harrison, the bank manager. "Should I be? Marriage changes a man, sometimes for better, sometimes for worse. Can't be worse than talking to weed all day." The train whistle pierced the morning air, black smoke visible long before the engine. Jacob's heart began its nervous dance, hands automatically smoothing his hair, checking his collar. The train wheezed to a stop. Passengers began disembarking, a family with 3 children, traveling salesman, and elderly couple. Then 2 women appeared in the doorway, and Jacob's world tilted off its axis. They were identical, not similar, not sisters who looked alike, but identical in every visible way. Same dark hair, same height, same face. They even wore matching travel dresses, though one was blue and one was green. They hesitated in the doorway, having an urgent whispered conversation. Then one, the one in blue, stepped forward while the other hung back. "Mr. Mueller." Her voice carried the expected German accent. "Miss Bergman." "Yes, I need to explain something." But before she could continue, the sheriff appeared, scanning the disembarking passengers with the intensity of a man on a hunt. The woman in green went rigid with fear. "Ladies," the sheriff tipped his hat, "either of you see a woman on the train, about your height, dark hair, traveling alone? She's wanted for murder in Milwaukee." The twins exchanged a look that spoke volumes. "We've been together the whole journey," the one in blue, Anna, said smoothly. "We're sisters, you see, traveling to meet my fiancé." "Both of you," the sheriff's eyes narrowed. "I'm accompanying Anna for propriety." The one in green said, her voice identical to her sister's, but with a slight tremor. "I'll be returning after the wedding." The sheriff studied them, then shrugged. "If you see anyone matching that description, let me know. Name's Margareta Bergman, considered armed and dangerous." After he left, Jacob looked between the twins. "Margareta Bergman," the one in green lifted her chin defiantly. "Anna's twin sister. And I'm not a murderer. But you are wanted for murder." "It's complicated." Then Jacob looked at Anna. "You brought your fugitive sister to our wedding?" "I couldn't leave her. She's innocent, Mr. Mueller. Please let us explain." Jacob looked around the crowded depot. "Not here. Come to the farm. We'll sort this out there." The ride to the farm was surreal. Anna sat beside him on the wagon seat while Margareta sat in the back. Without seeing them, Jacob couldn't tell their voices apart when they spoke. They even breathed in the same rhythm. "We should explain," Anna began. "From the beginning," Jacob said, focusing on driving. "We're twins, obviously, identical in almost every way. We've spent our lives confusing people, sometimes intentionally, sometimes not. Margareta picked up the story. A month ago, I was working as a seamstress in Milwaukee. My employer, Mr. Hartman, made advances. When I refused, he became violent. I defended myself with scissors. He fell, hit his head, died. Self-defense, Jacob said. That's not how his widow saw it. She claimed I seduced him, then killed him for his money. She has influence money for lawyers. I had nothing but the truth, and that's rarely enough for someone like me. So you ran. Anna was already coming here. We thought I could hide for a while, then return when things calmed down. Things don't calm down from murder charges, Jacob pointed out. No, Margareta agreed, they don't. They arrived at this farm as the sun reached its zenith. Jacob watched the twins take in the property. The well-maintained house, the barn, the endless fields. It's beautiful, Anna breathed. It's isolated, Margareta observed. Both, Jacob agreed. Beautiful isolation or isolated beauty depending on your mood. He showed them into the house, proud of his cleanliness despite his bachelor status. The kitchen was modern, the parlor comfortable, the bedroom aired and ready. You were that confident I'd come, Anna asked, seeing the obviously prepared guest room. Hopeful, hope and confidence often look alike from outside. Mr. Mueller, Margareta began, I know my presence complicates everything. I can leave. Where would you go? I don't know, west maybe, California, somewhere I can disappear. A woman alone heading west, you'd be dead or worse within a week. Then what do you suggest? Jacob studied the twins. In the better light of his kitchen, he could see tiny differences. Margareta had a small scar near her left eyebrow. Anna's eyes were slightly warmer in color, but to anyone not looking closely, they were indistinguishable. You stay, for now. We tell people you're Anna when needed. You want us to switch places, oi? Anna sounded shocked. I want you both safe while we figure out the truth. If Margareta is innocent, I am, then we prove it. I have a cousin who's a lawyer in Chicago. He might help. Why would you do this? Margareta asked suspiciously. You don't know us. You expected one bride, not two. Why help? Jacob was quiet for a moment. My grandmother was accused of witchcraft in the old country. Innocent, of course, but that didn't matter. My grandfather smuggled her to America hidden in a grain shipment. Sometimes innocent people need help hiding from unjust accusations. And if I'm guilty, or you know, then we deal with what is not what if. The first week was an exercise in careful choreography. Anna and Margareta took turns being visible, never appearing together in public. When Anna went to town with Jacob to meet the neighbors, Margareta stayed hidden. When the sheriff came by asking questions, Margareta became Anna chatting calmly about wedding plans, while the real Anna hid in the root cellar. This is insane, Jacob said one evening after a particularly close call. The minister had stopped by unexpectedly, while both twins were in the kitchen. Margareta had barely made it upstairs in time. It's working, Anna pointed out, serving dinner with the efficiency of someone born to farm life. For now, but what about the wedding? The town expects me to marry Anna Bergman in 2 weeks. The twins exchanged a look Jacob was beginning to recognize. Silent communication born of a lifetime of shared thoughts. We could take turns, Margareta suggested, during the ceremony. Absolutely not, Jacob interrupted. I'm not committing bigamy or fraud or whatever marrying the wrong twin would be. Then what do you suggest? Anna asked. We find out who really killed Hartman. Jacob's cousin Friedrich Muller was a successful lawyer who owed Jacob for funding his education. The telegram exchange was cryptic but productive. Need information, Hartman death, Milwaukee, stop. Complicated case, stop. Widow hiding something, stop. Investigate quietly, stop, will pay expenses, a stop. While waiting for more information, life on the farm developed its own strange rhythm. The twins shared the housework, though Anna was clearly more skilled in the kitchen, while Margareta excelled at sewing and mending. Jacob taught them both to drive the wagon to recognize which wheat was ready for harvest, to read the weather signs that predicted rain or drought. In the evenings, they sat together on the porch, and Jacob discovered the subtle differences between them. Anna was practical, grounded, with a dry humor that emerged gradually. Margareta was more artistic, passionate, with a temper that flared quickly but burned out just as fast. How do people tell you apart normally? He asked one evening. They don't, Anna said. We've been mixed up our whole lives. Intentionally sometimes, Margareta added with a grin. We switched classes in school, took each other's punishments, went on each other's courtships. Courtships, Jacob raised an eyebrow. Oh, yes, Anna laughed. Margareta once spent 3 months courting Hans Weber in my place because I couldn't stand him, but mother insisted. And Anna took my place with Otto Zimmerman because he had wonderful books I wanted to read but was too boring to converse with. You shared suitors. We shared everything, Anna said. Clothes, food, dreams, fears. Why not suitors? It seems dishonest. More dishonest than me hiding here pretending to be Anna, Margareta challenged. Jacob had no answer for that. As the wedding date approached, tension grew. The sheriff had intensified his search, and twice Jacob had seen wanted posters with Margareta's face, though it could just as easily have been Anna's. Then Friedrich's detailed letter arrived. Jacob, the Hartman case stinks of setup. Mrs. Hartman had substantial debts her husband didn't know about. She also had a lover, the family lawyer Garrett Stone. Several witnesses saw Stone near Hartman's office the day he died, though none will testify officially. More interesting, Mrs. Hartman withdrew a large sum from the bank the day after her husband's death before his body was discovered. How did she know to need money if she didn't know he was dead? I've hired a detective to investigate further. Tell your friend to stay hidden but hopeful. Friedrich, Jacob shared the letter with the twins. Margareta wept with relief while Anna held her. Someone believes me. I always believed you, Anna said. As did I, Jacob added, surprising himself with the truth of it. You don't know me well enough to believe me, Margareta protested. I know Anna. You're enough alike that if she trusts you, I do too. That night, unable to sleep, Jacob found Margareta on the porch wrapped in a shawl, staring at the stars. Can't sleep. I keep thinking I'll wake up in a cell, or worse, that Anna will be arrested for hiding me. That won't happen. You can't promise that. No, but I can promise to do everything in my power to prevent it. Why do you care so much, Anna? I understand. She's to be your wife. But me, I'm just a complication. Jacob sat beside her, careful to maintain proper distance. You're not a complication. You're a person in need of help. That's not an answer. Jacob struggled with words. How could he explain that in the past 2 weeks he'd come to care for both twins? That seeing Anna's fierce loyalty to Margareta had only made him admire her more. That Margareta's own spirit, unbroken despite her circumstances, had impressed him. You're Anna's sister. That makes you family. Not yet. The wedding hasn't happened. It will. Will it? How can you marry Anna when I'm here? How can she start a life with you when she's worried about me? We'll figure it out. Margareta turned to look at him, and in the moonlight she could have been Anna. The same profile, the same graceful neck, the same eyes that seemed to see straight through him. Have you ever been confused about which of us is which? A few times. You're very alike. But different. Yes. Different how? Jacob considered. Anna moves like someone who knows where she belongs. You move like someone ready to run. Anna's laugh comes slowly but stays. Yours bursts out, then disappears. Anna looks at the farm and sees home. You look at it and see shelter. You've been watching us closely. Hard not to. You're the only people here besides me. Is that all? The question hung in the air. Jacob knew what she was really asking. Had he been watching them as a farmer watches his help, or as a man watches women? I should go in, he said, standing. That's answer enough, Margareta said softly. The wedding was 3 days away when everything went wrong. The sheriff arrived with 2 federal marshals and a warrant. We know she's here, Muller, the sheriff said. Margareta Bergman. She was seen in town yesterday. That had been Anna, but she'd been wearing Margareta's green dress. My fiancé has been here, yes, Jacob said carefully. Your fiancé is Anna Bergman. This warrant is for Margareta Bergman, her twin. I've only seen one Miss Bergman. Then you won't mind if we search? They had no choice. The lawmen searched the house thoroughly while Anna sat calmly in the parlor, wearing her blue dress, reading a book. Miss Bergman, the marshal addressed her. Where is your sister? I haven't seen Margareta in 2 months. Anna lied smoothly. She said she was going west. Alone, so. She was always impulsive. They found nothing because Margareta was hidden in the one place they didn't think to look, the hollow beneath the old oak tree where Jacob had played as a child. She'd been there for 3 hours, cramped and terrified. After the lawmen left, Jacob helped her out. "We can't keep doing this," he said. "I know." That night, a telegram arrived from Friedrich. "Proof obtained, stop Stone confessed, stop bringing witness, stop arrive Thursday." Stop. Thursday was the wedding day. The morning of the wedding dawned clear and bright. The church was decorated with wildflowers. Half the county had come to see confirmed bachelor Jacob Muller finally marry. But in the back room of the church, chaos reigned. Where is she? Anna paced in her wedding dress, their mother's dress carefully preserved and altered. "She went for a walk to calm her nerves," Jacob said. "She should be back by now." They'd planned everything carefully. Margareta would hide in the church basement during the ceremony. Friedrich would arrive with proof of her innocence. All would be resolved. But Margareta was missing. "She ran," Anna said, tears starting. "She didn't want to ruin our wedding, so she ran. We have to find her. The ceremony starts in 30 minutes. Then we delay, Mr. Muller." The minister appeared. "There's a woman here, says she needs to speak with you urgently. Says her name is Mrs. Hartman." Jacob and Anna exchanged shocked looks. In the vestry, Mrs. Hartman waited, a severe woman in expensive black mourning clothes. Beside her stood Garrett Stone, looking uncomfortable. "I've come to withdraw the charges against Margareta Bergman," she said without preamble. "Why, Ben?" Jacob demanded. "Because Mr. Stone has convinced me it would be unwise to pursue them." She glared at Stone, who seemed to shrink. "Apparently there are certain facts about my husband's death that would emerge in trial. Facts that would be inconvenient." "You mean the fact that Stone killed him, and you covered it up?" Margareta's voice came from the doorway. She stood there in a simple gray dress, chin raised defiantly. Behind her was Friedrich Muller and a nervous-looking man in a clerk's suit. "This is Harold Finch," Friedrich announced, "Mr. Hartman's secretary. He saw everything. He saw Stone enter the office. He heard the argument about Mrs. Hartman's debts. He saw Stone leave and Hartman dead on the floor. Margareta Bergman never entered that office that day." "You have no proof," Stone began. "I have his signed testimony. And I have the bank records showing your withdrawals, Mrs. Hartman, and the love letters between you two. Would you like me to continue?" Mrs. Hartman went white. "If this comes out, then drop the charges against Margareta formally today, or I file papers in Milwaukee tomorrow." "This is blackmail." "This is justice," Friedrich countered, "the same kind you tried to deny Miss Bergman." An hour later, with the charges formally dropped and Mrs. Hartman and Stone on a train back to Milwaukee to face their own legal troubles, the wedding could finally proceed. But in the bride's preparation room, another drama unfolded. "I can't marry him," Anna said suddenly. "What?" Margareta gasped. "Anna, it's your wedding day." "But you love him too." The truth hung in the air. "It doesn't matter," Margareta said. "He chose you." "Did he? Or did he just choose the one who answered his advertisement?" "Anna, I've seen how you look at each other. How he watches you when he thinks no one's looking. How you smile when he talks about the farm. He watches you the same way." "Yes," Anna agreed. "That's the problem. He cares for both of us." A knock interrupted. Jacob entered, then stopped, seeing both twins in wedding dresses. Anna had insisted Margareta try it on earlier just to see. "You're both—" "Jacob," Anna began. "We need to ask you something, and you need to answer honestly." "All right. If you had met us both at the same time, if we'd both answered your advertisement, which of us would you have chosen?" Jacob looked between them. Identical faces, identical dresses, but he could tell them apart now. Anna with her steady grace, Margareta with her fierce spirit. "I can't answer that." "You have to," Margareta said. "No, I can't answer because it's the wrong question. I didn't fall in love with one of you despite the other. I fell in love with both of you because of each other. Anna's loyalty to Margareta showed me her heart. Margareta's trust in Anna showed me her soul. You're two halves of a whole. People can't marry two people," Anna pointed out. "No, but—" Jacob paused, thinking, "but people can make families in different ways." "What are you saying?" "I'm saying marry me, Anna, as planned. And Margareta, stay with us. Not as a sister-in-law hiding, but as family, real family. We have 600 acres. We can build another house if needed, close enough to be family, far enough for propriety. People will talk, Margareta said. People always talk. At least this gives them something interesting to say. You'd be comfortable with that, Anna asked. Your wife's twin always nearby. Would you be comfortable without her? Jacob countered. The twins looked at each other, having one of their silent conversations. We've never been apart more than a few days, Anna admitted. The longest week of my life was when Anna left before me, Margareta added. Then stay together. Stay with me. We'll make our own kind of family. The wedding proceeded with a few modifications. Anna married Jacob as planned, but Margareta stood as maid of honor, and when Jacob said his vows, his eyes moved between both twins as he promised to love, honor, and cherish. The town talked, of course. The story of the twins became legend in Marshall County. Some said Jacob Muller was the luckiest or unluckiest man alive, depending on their perspective. But as years passed, the unusual arrangement became normal. Margareta never married, though she had offers. She lived in a smaller house Jacob built on the property, helped with the farm, helped raise Anna and Jacob's children, who called her Mama Greta, and couldn't always tell her apart from their mother. And sometimes, on very rare occasions when Anna was ill or away, Margareta would wear the blue dress and go to town as Mrs. Muller. And sometimes when Margareta needed to attend something but was feeling shy, Anna would wear the green dress and be Miss Bergman for a day. Jacob never said if he could tell the difference, but those who knew them best noticed he always kissed his wife goodbye in a particular way. A hand on her left cheek where a tiny freckle hid near her ear, a freckle Margareta didn't have. 20 years later, when Anna died in the influenza epidemic, Margareta moved into the main house to help Jacob raise the younger children. The town expected them to marry, but they never did. Why, ma? Young Anna, named for her mother, asked her father and aunt once. Jacob and Margareta looked at each other, because Margareta said some loves are too complicated for simple categories. I loved your father as my sister's husband. He loved me as his wife's twin. When she died, we loved each other as two people who'd lost the same essential person. But isn't that still love? Yes, Jacob said, but it's a different kind. The kind that doesn't need marriage to make it real. When Jacob died at 70, Margareta was holding his right hand. In his left, they'd placed a photograph of Anna. His last words were, "Tell her I kept my promise. I cherished you both." Margareta lived another 10 years telling stories of the strange year when two twins fooled a town, found justice, and created a new kind of family. She was buried between Jacob and Anna, the headstone reading simply Margareta Bergman, sister, friend, mother, part of a whole. The Muller farm still stands, now run by descendants who still tell the story of their unusual founding. And sometimes they swear on full moons you can see three figures on the porch, a man and two identical women sitting together as they did in life, proof that love comes in more forms than the world expects or understands.